Well, good day to everyone, and thank you for taking the time to watch our introduction to InstaBrain. On behalf of Visionary Inc. and myself, my name is Joe Rasich. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer of Visionary Inc. Welcome. This term life selling system is truly amazing and is taking the industry by storm. Truly is nothing like it in the marketplace. So, every time I see a new term product in the, being introduced, not that there's not enough, we need another term product like we need a hole in our head, right? But honestly, let's talk about this because this is important. So let's face it, how exciting can you actually make a term policy? So it's gone through many transformations, right? Term, non-med term, term with living benefits, instant issue term, all these different sayings that have been attached to term policies. However, I would not bring this to your attention if InstaBrain was not unique and very, very favorable to your client and extremely profitable to you, the agent. So there, I named this presentation the snapshot for InstaTerm, so therefore I will keep this short and sweet. So let's get started. So what is InstaBrain? First of all, again, not only is it a great term product, but it's state-of-the-art technology. You're really going to like it. It's easy, it's quick, and especially the application process. Either you can complete the application or you could actually send the link and your client can do it. So this product is underwritten by Fidelity Life Insurance Company, rated A- excellent, and they were founded in 1896. Each one of you will get your own personal login, InstaBrain login to get into the Fidelity portal. And again, there's jam-packed with information, plus it holds the application platform. Again, as I mentioned, both for you to complete with your client or for you to be able to just send a link to your client and have him or her fill it out. The e-app process makes it easy to qualify your prospective clients instantly. So if you follow our directions, you follow this program, you're going to know exactly how your client ended up after the application process or even during. While completing the application, questions, right? Your client's answering the questions. InstaBrain is underwriting real time, and you see it. And I'll demonstrate that in another video. But while you're answering questions, height and weight, family history, driving, all of that stuff, as you're entering it, it's going to tell you what rate class and what premium they can get. So again, this plan, unlike other so-called instant issue, is 100% non-medical and 100% instant issue. It has a minimum face amount of $50,000 up to $1 million of death benefit, again, predicated on a person's age. Offers a 10, 15, 20, and 30-year guaranteed level premium. And again, truly instant issue. There is never going to be an APS, never referred to underwriter or labs and an exam. And a lot of these previous carriers who came out with so-called instant issue, it never became instant issue, or at least in over 70% of them. So this truly is instant issue. We have 4 non-tobacco rate classes. So there's preferred plus non-tobacco, preferred, standard, and standard select, which is basically table 2, again, on an instant issue basis. 2 tobacco rates, you're going to have preferred tobacco and tobacco express, again, which is a substandard tobacco rating. So again, this product, everybody asks, is it competitive? Well, it is. It competes very favorably with other so-called instant decision products, non-med products, products with living benefits. In that arena, it competes very, very favorably. One of the things that we are going to touch on is their chronic illness rider. It is absolutely the best chronic illness benefit rider in the industry, and that rider is included in the premiums. And I'm going to demonstrate how this compares to others, as well as how strong it is for your client. They have two riders. They have a dependent term rider and an accidental death rider. And we're going to talk about commissions. I know that's something of interest to you. And current age pricing, so you don't have to figure out, is this person 6 months closer to the next birthday? You don't have to do that. They could be 1 day prior to their next birthday, and you will get the price. And they have a commissionable policy fee, which is very important, especially for smaller policies. So, all right, let's get to the point and answer some questions. What is the commission? Not that that's not of interest to you, I'm sure, but let's talk about it. So typically on a 20 or 30-year level term, right, again, against the competitive term carriers that are out there in this industry, it's anywhere from 90 to 100%. And it could vary, but that's kind of where we find the commission levels at. What we're going to be introducing is our beta program, and I'll get into more detail on that. So InstaBrain, for you becoming contracted with Fidelity Life to sell InstaBrain, from day one, you're going to earn 120% commission on 20 and 30-year level term. 110% for 10-year, which is great. 115 for 15-year term. So very strong commissions. Another question everybody asks is, can I get annualization? And if you are a good boy or girl and you don't have any debts, vector hits, you don't have mounting credit card debt, annualization is available for you, the qualifying agent. Again, I talked about the best rating of Fidelity. Again, they're A- excellent. And is it competitive? So again, I kind of talked about that a little bit. When you compare it to other products in its class, it is very much competitive. So you're never going to get embarrassed. And again, I'll get into the details of, we're not going to be the cheapest by far. We're going to be competitive. But when you look at that chronic illness rider, you'll see why it can sell. So questions. What do I have to do to get that 120% commission? And that's where I'm talking about the beta process. So we want you to participate in our beta program. This product is brand new to the industry. And to get that 120% commission from day one, we're asking for your assistance to help us identify possible bugs in the system. So the program is running great. It's running currently at 97% efficiency. We still have some bugs to work out. And if you have a computer, if you have a cell phone, they're always doing updates to improve things. So that we're trying to get InstaBrain to be operating at 100%. And the only way, ladies and gentlemen, is to accomplish perfection in this program is by testing the system. By testing the system, we're asking you to put applications through the system. And by doing that, we appreciate your effort. Again, the basic commission on this product is 100% commission. It could go down to 90, but basic commission is, we're going to pay 120 upfront for you putting applications through the system so that we can, again, find a few bugs. There are production requirements, and there are none. So again, I want to get into this. So listen carefully. So the first 30 days after getting appointed, So if you're interested in this program and you want to get contracted, we'll send you the contracts. It takes a day to get a writing number with Fidelity. So hold on to that. Hold on to that application for contracting until you actually have a case. So again, if you I call it, I got a guy, I got a gal. So send us the information. We're going to send you some pre-qualification forms that you can determine, and underwriting forms to determine if that case is going to go through. And if you know it's going to go through, right? Like I said, it takes a day. Fill out the contracting. We'll get you a number. We'll get you registered, and you're ready to go. So what are the production requirements? Again, just within the first 30 days after you get contracted, submit one case that actually gets issued and paid. All right. So again, it's taken 15, 20 minutes to actually complete an application online. There is no paper. And you get paid directly from Fidelity Life. So again, after the 30 days, you write one case, it goes issued and paid, you keep the 120% level. All right. It's not going to revert back to that 100%. But all you have to do is write one case and get it issued and paid, and you're good. So again, we're not always going to be the lowest cost. So therefore, we want you to be a salesman and sell the benefits. Sell the benefits, not the price, because the benefits that I'm going to discuss with you and show you are the best in the industry today. So again, introducing introductory commission, 120%, beta paid directly by the company. How to qualify? Again, submit an InstaBrain online application in the first 30 days after appointment. Okay, so again, don't just fill out the contracts and then sit on it for 60 days, because then it'll revert to the 100% commission. So we're not forcing you to do it right away, but as soon as you get a case that fits, we want you to put it in. Here's another important thing. Because it is, there's never going to be an APS. It is non-medical. They're not going to do an exam. They're not going to send it to an underwriter. They're not going to sit there and call your client. They're not going to do any of that. So this product was really priced not for your impaired risk, okay, but for standard risks or better. So again, they go to preferred plus, they've got a preferred, they've got a standard. So again, to get that case in, remember, issued and paid in the first 30 days, look for somebody who has pretty decent health, right? They haven't had a heart attack. They're not going to be, expecting to go in for surgery for anything, right? Their height and weight's normal. They're just a regular healthy individual, which there are plenty of them. So, of course, the policy goes in force as expected. You then keep the bonus contract at 120% commission. So you write one case 30 days after you get appointed, you keep that 120% for as long as you sell Fidelity Life's InstaBrain. Now, with that contract, that allows you to recruit agents under your 120% contract. And you could make a minimum, okay, if you want to pay your agent 100, you're going to make a minimum of 20% of whatever they do. Now, that mounts up. Now, this beta program is not going to last forever. So again, we're going to probably do this for a couple of months until we get to that 100%. So we want you to be a salesperson, not an order taker. We want you to write that first case, and you have a very valuable contract into the future. Okay, commissions, here's a quick example, and I'm going to kind of lean on this 50-year-old non-tobacco standard rate. Again, I always like to quote standard because of the intelligent underwriting. If that client can qualify, even though you quoted standard, and he or she can qualify for preferred or preferred plus, Fidelity is going to issue the policy like that. So $500,000 30-year term on a 50-year-old. Now, again, dime a dozen, right? You could write these cases all day long with a infinite amount of carriers. But again, as I talk about the chronic illness rider, you'll see how this stands out. So just let's look at this thing and forget about the chronic illness rider, right? Fidelity Life InstaBrain is at $235.34 a month against two of the top lowest cost term carriers in the industry. AIG Corebridge, they call it now, Selecta Term, and Banner Life's Opt Term 30. And again, we're close. It's, you know, give or take, right? Couple of bucks difference. Let's look at that annual premium, and again, relatively close. Here's key. We have a $95 commissionable policy fee. Corebridge has $64. Banner has $90 policy fee, and they are not commissionable. That's why I mentioned for those smaller policies, those, you know, $50, $60 a month policies, you start taking out that policy fee, you're losing a lot of commission. So again, remember the base commission, right? That typically will happen down the road is 100%. Against Corebridge is 90, and these are street commissions. Banner 85. Now I don't know what commission level you have if you represent these companies, but again, these are what they consider the basic agent comp. And you can see the commission $2,700 versus $2,400 versus $2,300. So you're looking at $300 to $400 more commission. But let's think about that 120. On this case, you're going to make $3,246 against $2,400, $2,300, $700 or $800 more commission for doing the same thing. And what I'm going to show you, a superior product when it comes to the living benefits. All right, so again, I want to save this for last because I really want you to concentrate on how incredible this is. So they have a chronic illness rider that, again, is second to none. The best way to explain it is to demonstrate it, and I'm going to demonstrate it with that quote, that 50-year-old, right? Versus how these other carriers show up. So again, industry low. In this case, we were the lowest cost. Now that could change from day to day, right? Carriers lower their rates and increase their rates, whatever. InstaBrain includes both a traditional terminal illness rider. Now, so do the other carriers. Banner has it, American General has it. But we have what's called the chronic illness rider, which is like a long-term care event. So let's imagine that this 50-year-old, 10 years down the road, at age 60, per his doctor, he suffers some form of debilitating condition where he cannot perform, which is the definition of long-term care, 2 of the 6 activities of daily living. So when we get that, if Fidelity gets that doctor's letter, Fidelity will pay the client 50% of the death benefit, and in this example, $250,000. So your client is going to get a bucket of money to be able to use for whatever purpose they want. They don't have to turn in receipts. They don't have to show doctor's notes. If that first doctor says you can't do it, the claim is paid. There's more. So, and unlike any other chronic illness rider, InstaBrain keeps the other $250,000 in force for your client. Now, typically, most carriers, there's 2 things that happen. If a carrier has a claim on a living benefit rider, accelerated benefit rider, typically they reduce the death benefit to 50% of what the original face amount was. So in this case, other carriers might reduce that to $50,000. Now they'll reduce the premium. So the client who, you know, got a claim, and we don't know what that claim is because they always use those words up to, right? They will, they'll keep $50,000 in force, and they'll have to pay for that for the remaining of that term period. So not only does InstaBrain keep the other, you know, $250,000 in force, the policy is paid up for the rest of the term period of 20 years. Remember, it was a 30-year term. He had a policy for 10 years when he had his health problem, and he now has a paid up policy. That's right. The client receives $250,000 in cash to use for anything they want, plus The rest of the death benefit stays in force, and there are no other premiums billed to your client. And there's more. There is no waiting period like the typical long-term care policies require. No. And there's no fee. A lot of carriers will charge a fee. I've seen it $250, $300, even $500 just to adjudicate the claim. Okay, so they're going to take that off of what they're going to send the client. So not only that, InstaBrain is going to add 5 years to the coverage. Remember, it was a 30-year term. He's got 20 years left. But with InstaBrain, that $250,000 of life insurance stays in force for 25 years. So therefore, the client has a $250,000 paid up policy to age 85. And I guarantee you, no one has this as of yet. The client does have a choice. The client could take the $250,000 paid out monthly for 3 years. So that'd be almost $7,000 a year for 3 years. They could take it in monthly, or they can elect to say, you know what, I want it all. But because of they're paying it all up front and they're not paying it out over 3 years, they do discount it by 8%. So they can get a check for $230,000 up front, do whatever they want. Here's a copy of the commissions for the InstaBrain program for the beta testing. As you can see, it's 120% commission. The base is the B100, which is the 100%. You're still going to get a 1.5 renewal too for the first 2 through 5 years. All right. So just wanted to show you that you will get a full commission schedule if you decide you want to play. Here's something that I, excuse me, want to talk about is that commissions are lost by agents every year. You could be losing, depending upon how much term insurance premium you write, how many cases you write, you could be losing hundreds, even thousands of dollars each year. Now, I mentioned InstaBrain has a policy fee. A lot of carriers have policy fees. InstaBrain's $95. But at 120% commission, you actually earned $114 on each sale, irrespective of how small or large that face amount is. Okay, where other carriers, you wouldn't make anything. So for an example, Banner has a, if you looked at a 40-year-old, right, for $250,000, again, standard rate, 40-year-old, non-tobacco, standard rate, $250,000. Banner's going to charge that client $590.41 a year. Now, to figure out the commission, subtract out that $90. So that, therefore, you're going to get $500.41 of commissionable premium at the street level, which is the basic agent level. At 85, you're going to make $425.35, again, over the course of the year, first year. InstaBrain's premium is going to be $32.09 more than the 590s. Okay, that's $2.67 per month more than Banner. But now let's look at InstaBrain. So the premium is $622.50. There's that that's that $32.09 difference. Subtract out the policy fee, which in this case, we're not going to subtract it out because it is commissionable. So you're going to get paid on $622. Now, at 100%, you're going to make $622 versus $423. So that alone at 100% is pretty good. But now, figure in that beta bonus at 120, you're going to make $747. That's what? Over $300 more commission for basically doing the same thing in completing an application on your client. So we're going to pay you over $300 more. Remember, Banner does not have the chronic illness rider. So basically, for that $32 a year, InstaBrain is adding a chronic illness rider. So in this case, that client, this 40-year-old, has $125,000 worth of long-term care chronic illness benefit. So I'm going to ask you something. I figured this out the other day. What is $46.29? So we have some diehards out there and they say, you know what, I'm going to sell my client the lowest cost out there. I'm going to sell them that for $590, not $622. Okay, remember we have the chronic illness writer. He says, well, I'll just sell them a standalone long-term care policy for $125,000 bucket of money. And that would cost your client $46.29 added, right, to their policy. So if you were to take that $46.29 times 12, that's another $555. So now you're over $1,000 for basically offering your client the same benefit package. Now, again, the long-term care application, it's not, it's going to be underwritten. The premiums are not guaranteed. All right, so you got to keep that in mind. Oops. Okay. Again, there are other carriers other than Banner that have policy fees that are non-commissionable. As I mentioned earlier, AIG Corebridge has $64, and that varies by face amount. Foresters, Your Term, these are all good companies. I'm not criticizing them. I'm just telling you fact. Foresters doesn't pay commission on their $70 policy fee. Hancock $70, Lincoln 90, Nationwide 70, North American $65, Principal 75, Protective Life 65. These are all well-known carriers that you may have contracts with that you're selling every single day. Prudential 85. Again, I mentioned the fact that each of you will get your own portal if you sign up. So the personal portal, this is kind of an example of how quickly you can get a quote. The client says, okay, you hit start application and the process begins. So that's basically it. What's next? If you decide we're going to send you the what's next email. If you want to get contracted, again, here it's right there. And you could get contracted again when you have a case. So again, we're not forcing you, you got to write a case in 30 days. We're not doing that. We're saying, work on it. Give us a call. Tell us what you need. And you'll be able to quote it if you say you're interested. So you'll get the underwriting guideline, which I won't open up. It's pretty extensive. This quote request form. This allows you to give the information to see if they will qualify. Now, if they don't qualify, there might be some other carriers out there that do so. And I'm going to show you, you could click on the commission schedule. It's going to show you the kind of a brief, what I showed you was a brief schedule for InstaBrain, but Fidelity Life has guaranteed issue accidental death. They have guaranteed issue final expense. They have just regular underwritten first day final expense coverage. They have Insta Term. So they have a couple of other products that you will get or have access to. Okay. Again, we're going to send you out if you just reply back to one of us by phone or email, and we'll send you out a copy of this presentation, as well as a video on how the contracting works and what the registration process is. The registration process is nothing more than registering to become active once you're contracted using the InstaBrain portal. And again, I'm going to then do you're going to have a video on how to actually get around the InstaBrain website. Again, thank you for your time. I hope you found this as unique as I did. And again, for contracting, for any information, feel free to call Fred Taberry. He's our National Sales Director. Jessica Lopez is our CEO, or myself. I can help you. So on behalf of Visionary Inc., we thank you for your time, and we look forward to working with you. Good selling.